Hey guys, so welcome to our channel, and we are starting a new project. Actually, this is a kind of a double. We're doing two different projects here. So we got contacted by Ken down in Texas, and he wanted us, he's one of our followers, and he wanted us to actually make some signs for him. So we're kind of way behind on getting this done, but we want to finally get to it and get this done. We're super excited about doing this because these are really cool logos. In fact, you'll see the logos right here. Ryan will superimpose those right over the picture here. So there's a couple really cool logos. I think they're going to look great as carved signs. And we want to do something a little bit different from a material standpoint. You guys know in the past I've talked about the panel board. Panel boards that you can get down, well, I call it panel boards. You can get them down at Home Depot and Lowe's. Well, Lowe's specifically, I don't know about Home Depot, has really expanded their line of different kinds of panel boards. So check this out. I picked these up. These signs are going to be 2 foot by 2 foot, and I picked these up the other day. We're making 2 of them, and they're a full 1 inch thick, 2 foot by 2 foot, obviously. And I really kind of like the way they look. I think they're still end grain as far as the way the grain lays, but I think they'll carve really, really well, especially if you've got sharp bits. And it really makes it nice. But what we're going to do, and you can see, they're, again, full 1 inch thick. So you could leave them like this. However, I never really trust, kind of my general rule of thumb is I don't trust any other laminations unless I do them. So I'm going to put a frame on the back of them, but I'm going to do it differently. We're going to show that on the next scene. So one more thing, in case you're brand new to the channel, remember all of our supplies, everything that we use is over on our website, makeawoodsign.com. The card is up here in the corner. So in case you're brand new, we have our router bits and our bases and all that stuff. So I don't say that often enough, and a lot of people contact me and say, hey, where can I find those router bits? Where can I, that kind of thing. So anyway, stick with us. On the next scene, we're going to put some frames together for the back of this thing. Oh, one more thing, by the way. If you buy these things, and you can see they're wrapped in plastic, leave them wrapped in plastic as long as you can. That will help with the cupping and, pulling moisture out of the air. So leave them wrapped in plastic as long as you can. Then when you're getting ready to do your project, then take them out of the plastic and you can move on from there. Anyway, all right, stick with us. We'll be right back. All right, boys and girls. Now, I'm going to do something different than I've done before. What I've always done before when I wanted to put a frame on the back of these boards is I would cut one piece, I would miter the corners, and I would attach it, and I would cut each individual piece and then attach them to the back of the board and all of that. What I've decided to do is go at it from a different angle. I know this thing is 24 by 24. It's actually 23 7/8 by 24. So what I'm going to do, I've got my pieces. I bought some 2x4s. These are just standard stud 2x4s. I tried to get ones that were straight, and they were pretty straight. As straight as they're going to get for what it is. Then I milled them down. So I ran them through the jointer and then through the table saw and the planer. And I ran them all down to 1.5 by 1.25 inches. So these are all nice and straight and flat, out of these 2x4s. Now what I want to do is I'm going to build that frame separately, make it just a little bit undersized of what I need, and have it one complete piece, and then attach it as one piece to the back of the sign and leave it again a little bit under, so then I can just theoretically, I've never done it before, but theoretically then I can attach it to the board and then just trim the board down to the size of the frame, and I think that'll be an easier process. So stick with us. What we're gonna do is, we've already got these milled down. I'm gonna cut my 45s with my chop saw, cut them at the right size, and then when we come back, we'll put these pieces together and make our frame. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, so here's something we haven't done before. We're out here at the chop saw. I've got this thing set at a 45. That's where I want it. Again, this isn't a super... as I've mentioned in the past, all my tools aren't, especially when it comes to the saws, they're not the best, and I really stink at keeping them tuned up, and a lot of you guys are meticulous about that, and I so admire that. Just kind of a thing that I let go. But anyway, so we're going to give this the best shot we got. So I've got my, I want this thing about 1.5 inches wide or thick, and 1.25 inches. I've got my 1.25 inch dimension going this way. Oh, excuse me, that's my 1.5 inches. It's going to be 1.25 inches thick and 1.5 inches wide. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to get, these are also, these are like 28 inches long, and I only need them around 24. So I am going to cut one end here, and then I'm going to measure it, set my stop, and cut the other end. All right, so now I want to cut this. I want two of them just a little less than 24. So I'm going to set it at 23 and 15/16. Actually need to put it on this edge here. This is not something I normally do on camera, guys, but Ryan convinced me that it was a good thing to show. So if it fails miserably, you know who to blame. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my stop. Let's make sure that's right. Yeah, I think that's about as close as I'm going to get. So I've got this locked down. Now I'm going to cut one more like that. Now, this should be correct. And this should match up to that other piece. Let's hope. Did I cut that the right way? I hope so. Now these two pieces should match up.
Yeah, that's as close as you're going to get.
Yeah. Anything other than that, you know, whatever gap we have, that's where wood filler really helps. And those are both set just a hair under 24. So I'm going to duplicate this process with the other ones that I want a little bit less than 23 and 7/8. So I'll cut my other two pieces off camera, then we'll go back and we'll put these things together. All right, guys, so we've got these pieces all cut down. Again, this is different than what we're used to doing for you guys, but I really thought, and Ryan actually was kind of the impetus behind this, of showing this process. You guys are probably a lot better at it than I am, because I'm not a cabinet maker, and, you know, these 45-degree mitered joints ain't my thing, but I'm going to make it work. So here's what I've done. I've just taken a couple little speed squares and clamped them, and I know there's some really good tools that you can clamp from both sides, but I don't have those. So what I've done is I've kind of put those in place, and then when I square them up, we know we're pretty square in those corners, then this one is lining up pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just throw some glue on there. My glue is pretty thin. I think I might have added a little too much water to it the other day, but that's all right. Oh, by the way, you can see I'm doing this on a piece of 3/4 inch MDF just so everything stays flat. So I've got that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these little doodads. And these are things that Dad had showed in the past, and they're just little clamp deals. We've got these actually in our Amazon store, and those should just kind of hold those things in place. So you get these little pliers with them, and they're a little flies. They're a little compact or spring-loaded deal. Oh man, you should be able to kind of hold those things in place. And now I can shoot a couple nails in there, and I've got I think 1 3/8. I think I've got 2 1/4 inch nails in here. Actually, you know what? I think before I throw the nails in there, I'm going to go ahead and glue the other side. Just throw a little glue on there. Again, most of it's going to be, you know, it's going to have, this is also going to be attached to the face frame of the sign, or the actual sign itself, actually. So let's just put this in place. Now this one over here, I think it kind of twisted on me a little bit. All right, so let me get this one locked up. Nope, that doesn't look right. That looks better. See if this one will line up over here. That's why I say there's a little gap in that one, because I think the board twisted just slightly, but that's all right. I can fix that with filler. So let's just put a couple nails in there. Love this thing, by the way. Love, love, love this thing.
Meg's getting up and knocking the camera around.
He doesn't like the sound of the nail gun. We're stepping around dogs here.
Yeah, it's like a dog outfit.
That's right. Well, those springs aren't really needed now because they got the nails in them. So anyway, there it is, guys. So now we're just going to let that dry. We're going to make the other one. We're going to let them dry. Then when we come back, we're going to attach these to our boards. So stick with us. We'll be right back. All right. So our frame is dry. And let's attach it to the board. So there's a lot of different ways you could do this. What I've decided to do is use glue and screws. These screws are the perfect length. They go through, I think they're 1 1/4 or 1 3/4, right? Yeah. 1 5/8. So I think those are perfect to pull through here and suck it down to the board. So what I'm going to do, this is the part that I want sticking backwards. I've got the board face down. So I'm going to put glue all over this thing. And then we're going to drill some holes and we're going to put some screws in. So what I like to do is make sure that glue is all over that face frame. Now I have to work fairly quickly because it's pushing 100 degrees outside here, I think. Not quite, but I think it's going to be 100 today, I think.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to get like 102.
Which actually is, and it's middle of the morning, which Ryan and I both believe that we were supposed to be on the water today, but we're not. We actually have to work. Yeah.
Yeah, our boss is a real slave driver.
Yeah. She said we can't spend all day on the water. What is up with that?
Well, I think it's too windy today anyway. It's supposed to get up to 14 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's the thing about Lake Mojave out here is the wind really comes up more often than not, actually. It really gets nasty out on that water in the kayaks, white caps, and it can get kind of dicey. So unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. So we have to check. Windfinder.com is a great app for, if you guys don't know. I'm just making conversation since I'm spreading glue. Just trying to spread information as well as glue.
Nice.
See, I just work that way. That's the way I work. See, this is already starting to get a skin on it, even with this thin glue. But I really like the idea of making sure that this glue is completely spread.
Now, is that going to be an issue, like sanding the inside of the sign where, you know, where the two pieces meet, if the glue spreads out to the inside?
Well, I don't think it will be. We can deal with it if it becomes an issue. We can deal with that. But fortunately, this glue is pretty thin, so I don't think there's going to be a lot of squeeze out. And I think that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to use clamps. All I'm going to really use are just the screws. So we're going to leave a little bit of edge on both sides, and this direction, it seems like it's pretty good to where we want it to be. And these things should countersink themselves, hopefully. I don't really want. That's how you break drill bits.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got this set at just the depth of the screw, so that makes it kind of handy. That's the way I want to do it. All right, so let's flip it around. I know, guys, you guys are probably much better at this than I am. But I'm hoping to make it work.
Seems to be so far.
All right, so guys, I'm going to put about, I don't know, 15 or 20 more screws in this thing. Get it all tacked down before this this stuff sets up, and then we'll be back and we'll show you what we're going to do next. Hey folks, so we are back. We've got our signs all made as far as the frame on the back, and we've got a little bit of an overhang there on this side. On the ends, we had quite a bit of overhang, and we just ran those through the table saw. Ryan actually did it. Ran those through the table saw. We're going to hit them with a sander, but there's not much overhang. On these edges, there's a little bit more of an overhang, especially this edge. So I'm going to use this combination 9-inch, 6-inch belt sander. This thing is just, this is probably 20 years old. Great sander. We use it, used to use it a lot more than we do now, but it works good for this situation. So let's get this fired up and we'll do some sanding. Mostly smooth. It's pretty level. We got a little bit more to do here, but I think we've shown you guys enough of what we're doing there. So we're just going to do that, sand it down smooth and flush on all 4 sides, and we'll do the same thing on the other board that we've got made. And the next thing we'll do is move on to the edging and then the layout, get into the carving, but that'll be on the next video. So that is it for this video, guys. Hope this was helpful. Again, if you guys are brand new to the channel, remember we have all of our supplies, the router bits, base plates, everything. I'm going to sneeze.
I can see it. There it is.
Excuse me. Woo! Woo! All right. Anyway, so we got all of our supplies over on the website, Make a Wood Sign. And if you guys haven't subscribed, we'd love for you to subscribe. Click the little bell icon. And questions, email me, Eric at makeawoodsign.com, or my son, Ryan with DaveSigns at gmail.com. We love you guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.